where we are considering objections from the police and environmental health to a proposed 10 for the forecourt only ground floor Thai Rice 303 Portobello Road, London W10 5TD. I'm Councillor Janet Evans, and I will be chairing this meeting. It is being held via Microsoft Teams, and it is also being streamed live. I can confirm I have no declarations to make in relation to this item. I am joined by Councillors Marie-Therese Rossi and David Lindsay. Councillors, can you please introduce yourselves and confirm whether or not you have any declarations to make?
I am Councillor Marie-Therese Rossi. I represent Redcliffe Ward and I have no declarations to make. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm David Lindsay. I represent Norland Ward. I have no declarations.
Thank you. We are also joined remotely by Paul Phelan from the Council's licensing team, our legal advisor, Heidi Titcomb, and legal assistant, Georgia Hoydebroek. Our committee officers, Holly Weaver, Nima Mahudin, and Daniela Healy, who will be monitoring our connections and help with any technical issues we have. Before we start the hearing, there are a few ground rules. Please keep your microphones on mute until you are invited to speak, and please make sure your mobile phones are on silent. Please keep your cameras off unless you are speaking to avoid connection problems. Please note that the Microsoft Teams chat function is not monitored, so please do not use it. Everyone should have received the procedure for the meeting regarding the use of cameras and how to connect back in if you lose connection. Thank you. Holly Weaver, can you please run through the list of the persons wishing to speak today?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. So present today we have PC Tom Stewart from the Metropolitan Police Service and Julian Trill from RBKC's Noise and Nuisance team, who have both objected to this 10. As the applicant is not attending today, he won't be available to respond to any questions, but hopefully any officers would be able to assist with any queries you may have.
Okay. The quorum for the committee is 2, as there's always a possibility that I may lose connection temporarily during the broadcast. I am nominating Councillor Rossi to be appointed as a substitute chair. Councillor Lindsay, please confirm.
Agreed.
Thank you. I confirm that Councillor Rossi has been appointed substitute chair. The procedure of the meeting has been circulated with the papers. However, in summary, I confirm. Firstly, the licensing officer will give a brief outline of the 10. Mr. Santhorn Sarathun will not go next because he's not here and he's the premises user. Questions may then be asked. Well, they won't be asked because he's not here. Then I will ask the police, PC Stewart, to present his objection. We'll have up to 10 minutes to do so. Questions may then be asked of the police by the committee, and our legal officer. Environmental health will go next, and Mr. Trill will present his objection for up to 10 minutes. Questions may then be asked of environmental health by the committee and our legal officer. Finally, I will turn to the governance team to see if any issues have been raised that we need to consider. There will be no summing up, and the committee will then adjourn for a short period to make our decision. We will reconvene to verbally announce the decision today. Let's get going. Mr. Phelan, please can you outline the 10 and confirm whether there are any additional papers? Could I ask Holly to please put up the map, show the location?
Absolutely, we'll do so now.
Thank you.
Chair, members
Yeah.
of the subcommittee, good morning. The subcommittee is asked to consider objections to a temporary event notice submitted by Mr. Sakta Suntun Saratun to use the forecourt area of Thai Rice 303 Portobello Road, London, W10 5TD. The 10 seeks permission for the sale by retail of alcohol on and off the premises. Mr. Santun Saratun is proposing to use the outdoor forecourt of the restaurant for the sale of alcohol during Notting Hill Carnival on Sunday the 24th and Monday the 25th of August 2025 between the hours of 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. For reference, Chair, a copy of the temporary event notice and site plan are attached at Appendix A. The premises currently benefits from a premises license. Details of this particular premises license are included at page 6 of the report. This temporary event notice has attracted representations from both PC Tom Stewart on behalf of the Metropolitan Police and Mr. Philip Richardson on behalf of the Council's Noise and Nuisance team. PC Stewart has submitted an objection on the grounds of the prevention of crime and disorder and public safety. A copy of PC Stewart's representation is attached at Appendix C. Mr. Philip Richardson has also submitted an objection on the grounds of the prevention of public nuisance and public safety. A copy of Mr. Richardson's representation is attached at Appendix D. Relevant extracts from the Council's Statement of Licensing Policy are attached as Appendix E, Chair. A map of the 2024 Carnival footprint indicating the parade route, location of sound systems, bars, street trading sites, safe areas, and other matters is attached at Appendix H. For clarity, Chair, this map is for illustrative purposes only, as the map for 2025 is yet to be finalised. A list of temporary event notices received so far for this year's Carnival is attached as Appendix I. This list excludes notices which have been withdrawn or issued with a counter notice. Some of these notices may still be under consultation, Chair. Finally, I can confirm that the following additional documents were circulated at the request of the Metropolitan Police. The first being an email containing a link to 3 BBC News articles which relate to Notting Hill Carnival and a statement from Chief Inspector Dominic Nye. You will now hear from the premises user and those who have made representations. I am happy to provide any further clarification as required. I'll leave it there for now. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, so thank you.
Chair, sorry to interrupt. Just because the applicant is not in attendance, I'm just going to draw the committee's reference to the application form where the premises user has limited the number of people to 50.
50.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Now let's go to the police because PC Tom Stewart, please can you present your submission? Please turn your camera on if you wish. You have 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning again. You have my written submission, so I'll try and be as brief as possible due to the fact that the applicant isn't here to hear my oral submissions. However, I'll crack on with that now. So the proposed activity at 303 Portobello Road, which is a restaurant called Thai Rice, is for the sale of alcohol both on and off the premises between 11 a.m. and 1900 hours. I'll point out at this stage that permitted hours for temporary notices are 12 o'clock till 7 o'clock, and where we are happy with tenants to proceed, we do ask them to fit within that time frame. This obviously sits outside of that particular time frame. It's due to take place at 303 Portobello Road, and it's located on the forecourt of this premises. This is situated within a stretch between the Westway and Oxford Gardens, an area of particular concern for the police due to the high footfall and restricted pedestrian space. Although it's not on the main parade route, Portobello Road is arguably probably the next busiest area other than the roads where the parade, the procession goes round. The premises operated a bar last year under a temporary event notice, and within my written submissions on Appendix C, I've provided a body-worn image that shows that bar. And I think if Holly can scroll up potentially from where she is on that document to the bit further to the top, you'll be able to see that picture. A bit further, I think it's further up. That's it. So those two pictures there, the wooden bar is the bar that Thai Rice had in place last year, and it's the police's submission that this bar is quite substantial, and it also abuts straight up to the pavement. So any queuing generated by that bar directly impacts on crowd dynamics within Portobello Road. The as you'll see as an additional submission, and also I've quoted a paragraph within my original written submissions, Chief Inspector Dominic Nye, who is a public order commander for that particular stretch of Portobello Road, has provided a statement, and I'll quote a section of that statement in relation to this particular temp event notice. And he states, any furniture placed outside these premises removes space for pedestrians. Business activity which attracts static crowds reduces the ability for crowds to flow safely in the area. My experience, and this is Mr. Nye's experience, over the last 2 carnivals, is that I've had to divert crowds away due to density. Any further reduction in the space or crowd flow will make this problem, so any reduction in that space will make this problem worse and increase the risk of crowd density, leading to significant safety consequences. And that's the end of the quote. So this isn't a hypothetical situation. It is based on first-hand operational experience from an experienced public order police officer. Located just 30 metres north of the premises, and if Holly can scroll back down to the original picture, there is a sound system that goes by the name of Virgo International. You can see it in that picture there, but also if you scroll down to the next picture down, the red shaded area in that picture is the location taken up by that particular sound system. It attracts large numbers of persons and who ultimately fill up that space in Oxford Gardens, as well as the junction of Raddington Road to the east, as well as the Portobello Road to the south. In addition to the sound system, there's also 8 official street trading stalls, all licensed and incorporated into the official event plan. These can be seen, I believe, slightly further down in my written representations. And that's where they are. So the most northern one is almost directly opposite 303 Thai Rice. So so with these street trading stalls, they already reduced the amount of pedestrian space available within the Portobello Road. And combined with these, there is now new hostile vehicle mitigation barriers or concrete blocks that have been put into the Portobello Road, both at the junction with Cambridge Road, which is at the bottom of the south, as well as Oxford Gardens to the north. These concrete blocks also impede on pedestrian access and significantly limit available space for the public. So that particular section of Portobello Road is already impeded quite significantly. Introducing a bar onto the forecourt at this point in the route will increase static crowds, potentially leading to alcohol-related disorder, and reduce escape routes or alternative walking space for the public. Whilst we weren't initially objecting to the 10 in outright, the intention was for the premises user to obviously receive the objection and then come back to us with any mitigation that they could achieve. The proposed mitigation would have been, first of all, amending the times to fall in line with the carnival time limit, which would be 12 till 7, as well as agreeing to only sell alcohol from within his premises, which it can be done on his existing premises license, so that in theory the need for 10 would not be necessary. However, the premises user hasn't come back to myself or anybody else within the police to offer that. So obviously, as you know, the 10 can't be amended at the hearing at this stage. Obviously, the police do recognise the importance of Notting Hill Carnival and the opportunity that it provides for business to benefit from increased footfall. However, this must be balanced against the clear and present risks to public safety and the need to prevent crime and disorder. This specific location, adjacent to a major sound system, surrounded by existing stores and already constrained by other infrastructure, cannot safely support the operation of an outdoor bar. We therefore respectfully request that the subcommittee issue a counter notice to this temp event notice. Thank you. Those are my submissions, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay. Any questions from the committee?
Yes, I have one. In the application, the applicant says that he only expects to limit the number of people to 50 at any one time. Do you think, in your experience of dealing with Carnival, that is feasible, that he could limit it to 50 people on the forecourt?
In terms of people actually fitting in front of the space where they've got the bar, you couldn't fit 50 people there anyway. The fact that they've asked for on and off sales complicates matters, because I don't believe it was their intention to have people consuming alcohol on the premises. The assumption is that they want to serve straight from the bar for people to take away and sort of move within into the crowds. You could easily keep that under 50 because you can only have as many people at your bar as the bar would allow. So the 50 capacities is slightly kind of erroneous, and so it doesn't really mean much in regards to how they're going to operationally sort of how they're going to operate that bar. I would suggest that even if they did want to limit it, it would be very difficult to limit it to a particular number, because they haven't offered any more information in regards to how they're going to operate. It's just a site plan, which is in my submission slightly confusing as to what exactly where the bar will be. I think the idea was the bar would be slightly set back, but given what it looked like last year, it was pushed right out to the pavement. So a long way of answering your question, Councillor, is I don't think the 50 figure really means much in regards to operationally how this bar is going to operate.
Thank you.
Councillor Lindsay?
I have one question. Page 24.
Yes.
18, general condition. The applicant shall never be appointed as the designated premises supervisor of these premises. Now, I'm not sure whether that's for you, Constable Stewart, or for another member of staff. How often have you seen that particular observation?
I have seen it a few times. I've requested it a few times myself. This wasn't based on a review that I did, because I don't cover Kensington, Chelsea on a day-to-day basis. But I did query that with the licensing authority, and that condition was placed on his premises license following an immigration visit where there was illegal workers found to be working at the premises. It's a bit removing him, making it unable for him to be the DPS is fine, but he's also the license holder. So that for me would be a slightly more of a concern in regards to the premises license. If you don't want him to be the DPS, then there's a good argument to say that he shouldn't be the premises license holder too. But in terms of the temp event notice, it doesn't particularly interact in that sense. But yes, I have seen it before, and it is something that gets put on licenses, not necessarily when he's also the license holder, though, because it doesn't necessarily achieve what you're trying to achieve.
But I mean, I can't say that I haven't seen it before, but I don't remember having seen it. But it just does appear to be quite strong.
Yeah, it's a very strong condition, and it's probably one that it might well be one offered by the DPS at a review hearing to effectively save the license from being revoked, but by saying I won't be in day-to-day control of the premises license as the DPS. I don't know the provenance of how it was put on, but I do know it was off the back of a police-led review in regards to immigration matters at the premises.
Thank you. And I'm aware that you are a constable with the I suppose at your heart are public safety matters and policing matters. But what do we know about the number of people signed up with SIA who would be helping, and is that sufficient? Is
that in regards to the particular 10 or the
10? Yes, specifically the 10.
There's no information provided in regards to their management of the 10. They submitted the 10 event notice, but they haven't supplied a risk assessment or an EMP or any other additional information to show how it will be and how any particular risks will be mitigated. So I can only go on what's on the temp event notice, which effectively states they're going to be trading from the forecourt area.
No, I get that, but I think you've actually made the point that I was slightly getting at via the back door. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay. Is it, you said it's not usual for people to apply for a license 1 hour before carnival opens?
It does happen, and what usually happens is there's an agreement between the police and the local authority that there's a window where, when tenders are submitted, there's a window where the hours are preferable, and when they fall outside of those hours, what usually happens is the licensing authority will contact the applicant and ask them and state to them that they're outside those hours. Would you like to amend them? If they don't respond to that, then the 10 will come out for consultation, and then as part of the police's objection, we will point out that they fall outside of those hours, and we object on behalf of, because of that, as well as the other objections. Usually what happens is the 10 user or the premises user will come back and say, I'm happy to change my hours to 12 till 7. Because what we don't want is, where there are 10s starting at 12, we don't want one 10 to be starting at 11, because that can cause confrontation between different operators, and also also can create a slight sort of focal point for that hour. So there's plenty of opportunity for the premises user to ask to amend that temporary event notice, but obviously that opportunity ends the moment the hearing starts, because it can't be amended during the hearing. So it does happen quite a lot, but I think people who submit them on a regular basis tend to get the timings right. This operator did apply last year. I don't recall whether the assumption is that the hours were okay last year, but obviously we're objecting to it this year for many sort of additional reasons.
Thank you very much. And of course, he can even if he does not receive permission, he could carry on as usual on sales, right?
Yes, he has a premises license. The reason he's submitted the 10 is because his forecourt area is not covered by his premises license,
right?
And he's well within his rights to operate normally, i.e., people can go inside, they can purchase alcohol, and they can leave. That's what a lot of businesses obviously will be doing,
Right.
But a lot of people don't like the idea of letting people inside their premises during carnival, which is why they want to put it on the forecourt, which then directly impacts on crowd safety issues. So yes, he can.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Does our legal officer have any questions?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No, I have no questions.
Okay, so now for the environmental health. Mr. Trill, please can you present your submission, and please turn your camera on if you wish. You have 10 minutes.
Good morning, Madam Chairman. Thank you very much. Thank you to members of the subcommittee. I'll keep this extremely brief. Mr. Richardson's obviously submitted his representation objecting to the granting of this temporary event notice, and I'm obviously presenting his arguments here. We've obviously been through them with my police colleague in terms of what the major issues are here. And I suppose in particular, we're not necessarily focusing on the alcohol sales here. It's the impingement of the highway at this location, particularly with regard to the fact that you've got that line of food stalls that you can see on the plan there, with almost directly opposite now that with this proposal of a bar. And we're going to create, and as what's been reported by the police last year, a narrowing of this part of the carriageway. And with it being Portobello Road, extremely busy, as we've heard, along with Ladbroke Grove, the sort of major route north and south on the carnival footprint, with a sound system within 20 to 30 metres. We really are looking to avoid any unnecessary impingements of the highway here that particularly have not gone through the carnival process with Notting Hill Carnival Limited, haven't been risk assessed. The applicant isn't here for us to sort of question him as to how the operation went last year. For instance, how did he control things last year? How would he improve things this year if they're in relation to the concerns that have been set by the police? So really, and you may start to get slightly bored of me trotting out this phrase, we're looking to improve carnival. We're not looking for the status quo here. We are trying to address the well-established concerns and issues that are raised by looking at each of these applications on a case-by-case basis, but also looking at the wider picture across the carnival footprint to ensure that these ad hoc, possibly not very well thought out and well developed plans are scrutinised and objected to where we feel that they are going to not promote the public safety licensing objective, which is absolutely paramount. You know, it is critical that we do we don't nod these things through, and we do look at them and respond to these concerns that have been raised. And we unfortunately can't speak to the applicant and ask what his response is to these concerns and how he might address them. So I'm afraid, yes, we do have to sustain our objection here and ask that you issue a counter notice and that this proposal doesn't go ahead.
Thank you very much. Questions from the committee. Councillor Rossi?
Yes, just thinking about last year and the picture we saw of the bar, were there substantial problems caused by this premises last year by the bar being in the street as it was?
From the point of view of the Council on Environmental Health, we don't have the specific information that perhaps the police have. We have more general concerns reported by officers in terms of trying to get around the carnival footprint and pinch points. Obviously, we've heard from the police and we've seen their body-worn camera footage, and we've got the statement from the I think it was a superintendent or chief inspector who set out his concerns in relation to this particular section or area of the carnival footprint, which ties in with the more general anecdotal reports that Mr. Richardson and his colleagues who are working across the carnival footprint reported. So I can't come here and say, yes, I've got a specific note from last year where officers reported a definite problem at this location.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Lindsay?
Thank you, Madam Chairman, but no.
Okay, I have no further questions. So any questions from our legal officer?
No questions from me, madam.
Okay, does our legal officer have any further queries?
None from me.
Okay, do our licensing officers have anything to add?
Nothing to add. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Governance, anything to add?
Nothing further from us. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
So we've reached the end of this meeting. The committee will now retire to make our decision in private session. We will reconvene the hearing in 15 minutes to verbally announce our decision. Thank you. Is everyone here, Holly, that needs to be here?
Yep, so we have noise and nuisance back, and PC Stewart, I assume, is there.
Okay, PC,
Tommy, you all right to either turn your camera on or there we go.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
Perfect.
here.
okay, Paul Phelan, are you here?
Yeah, sorry, Chair, I was muted. I'm here.
Okay, great, okay. Well, we are reconvening the meeting. The committee has considered objections from the police and environmental health to a temporary event notice, which has been given by Mr. Sakta Sunthorn Sarathun, the premises user, for the sale by retail of alcohol on and off the premises at the front forecourt of the above premises on Sunday, 24 August 2025, and Monday, 25 August 2025, between the hours of 11 to 7 p.m. for a maximum number of 50 people at any one time. The adjacent premises currently has the benefit of a premises license, which permits the sale of alcohol on and off the premises from 10 to midnight on Monday to Friday, and 11 to midnight on Saturdays, and from midday until 11 o'clock on Sundays. The premises also has unrestricted hours for regulated entertainment for private use and late night refreshment indoors from 23 o'clock to 12:30 on Monday to Saturday, and from 23 o'clock until midnight on Sundays. The committee has considered the committee papers and the submissions made by the parties, both orally and in writing. In reaching its decision, the committee has had regard to the relevant legislation, the Secretary of State's guidance, and the authority's statement of licensing policy. In summary, the committee decided, after taking into account all the individual circumstances of the case and the prevention of crime and disorder and public safety licensing objectives, to issue a counter notice under Section 105 of the Licensing Act 2003 for the event. This notice means permission for the licensable activities requested in the 10 has not been approved, and the 10 cannot take place. The committee decided that allowing the 10 would, in this instance, undermine the prevention of crime and disorder and public safety licensing objectives, and it determined to issue a counter notice under Section 105 of the Licensing Act 2003. A copy of the reasoned decision will be provided without undue delay. If the premises user would like to appeal against this decision, such appeal must be made to the magistrate's court within 21 days from the date of notification of the final decision, but in any event, no later than 5 working days before the start of the proposed temporary event. I thank you all for your time and your contributions, and thank you, the committee and officers as well.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you, officers.
Thank you, Madam
Thank you,
Chairman.
Heidi.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.